Kick off. Well, welcome everybody. Good morning. Here in the UK, we're 10 a.m. GMT time. This is really a call into the Australian market. I know there's a number of our partners there that are building a very exciting Zinzino business. And for those in the United Kingdom and around the rest of Europe that join us via the live link today, or maybe catch the recording, welcome to you also. And this will be a recording that you may just also want to share with your potential guests and prospects and to help them to understand why Zinzino is the best in class with our pharmaco-nutritional products. It's a bit early. We were on late last night to the US, Sue and I, sharing into the United States and the Canadian market. And that leads me to say, this truly is a global business. Zinzino is a wellness revolution that is literally sweeping the globe. And if I may just take a moment for those who don't know me, as you watch this live or maybe for a recording, my background very much was sports and nutrition. I was a rugby player. Although I'd never made it to the pro league due to personal injury, nutrition was always important to me. And then I went into hospitality, a chef by profession. And so fresh produce was a key ingredient of my well-being. But that said, when I was approached about Zinzino and taking a test to see if I was in or out of balance with my wellness, I was shocked that I was significantly in the danger zone. If you're a guest here today, listening live or maybe the recording, you may not actually know what that really means. You will most definitely understand what I'm referring to after this presentation. But let me give you a premise of what we're going to cover today. Very simply, it's going to be broken into two sections. The first half will be us sharing a little bit about Zinzino, its phenomenal, best-in-class pharmaco-nutritional products, and why we need them. Categorically, there's not a shadow of doubt why we need these products. Now, if you are looking from a health perspective, and that's what you came here to listen and learn about, then you're most welcome when we get to the end of the customer element of our products. You may just leave the call and get back with the individual who will now get back with you and help you start your health campaign. If you are also looking for the possibility of an opportunity, then you're going to want to stay for the second part where I will go and dive deeper into the opportunity, why the timing's right, and why this is going to be a major mega trend in the health and wellness revolution. So the premise of Zinzino, a 15-year-old company, has always been about health and wellness. And so I hope that's important to you. Regardless if we are down in Australia or the Asian Pacific markets, across the pond where we were sharing last night in the Canadian and the United States market, throughout the United Kingdom and the European marketplace, I believe we all share a commonality. And that is we all have a desire to be in the best optimum health we possibly can, to feel good, stay fit, and be healthy. But the reality is, at the same time that it may be our desires, the world is the most unhealthiest it's ever been in mankind's history. Putting aside what we're experiencing through this global pandemic, prior to that, we have access to, of course, the superhighway, the internet, access to knowledge of nutrition and exercise programs. And yet, as a human species, we are the most unhealthiest we've ever been. And we've got to start asking poignant questions. Why is that the case? Because many years ago, Hippocrates said, let food be your medicine and let medicine be your food. And that was true to a degree only just 100 years ago, because we ate what we grew. We ate from Mother Nature. So through the natural processing of consuming what we were harvesting, we had a balanced diet from the nutrients, micronutrients, the fibers, the essential fatty acids. They were all in balance. But only a few short decades ago, post-war, around 50s, 60s, we had the introduction of processed foods, man-made foods, convenience, processed, the longevity of a product, shelf life. All this was really contributing to some new things that entered our system. Additives, preservatives, colorings, things that made us addicted to man-made foods. And of course, they had less nutrient density. Very high in calorie, made us feel that we were full, but hungry very short period of time afterwards. Essential fatty acids were most significantly out of balance. We lacked fiber. And so then was birthed the real growth of a nutritional market. because we just weren't getting the nutrients that we needed from our diet. And so the last 5, 10, 20 years, this has exponentially exploded. And we've seen today conditions from a health perspective that were clearly not around over 100 years ago. Because by nature and by birth, your DNA, my DNA, we were born one to one. Very simply, our composition of our body had the right balance of this term, essential fatty acids. Now, within a century, science was able to validate that our optimum health really was around a 3-to-1 ratio of those essential fatty acids. Omega-6, which is very inflammatory, and we need it. We need to protect ourselves. If you've ever had a graze or a cut and you've seen that redness around it, that is our body reacting with inflammation to protect ourselves. So we need an element of omega-6. But if it becomes out of control, we now have chronic inflammation. And so science says, and the World Health Organization state, that the optimum health shouldn't be beyond 3-to-1 in ratio. 3 omega-6s, 1 omega-3. But there was a turning point, as we touched on post-war, where the introduction of processed foods came into our modern day civilization diets. And now we started to see a turning point. Well, let's fast forward a few decades. Those TV meals, those microwave pings, those drive-thrus has created what we see. I'm sure you didn't hear what I was saying there, so I'm going to backtrack just a sentence. But fast forward a decade or two from the 60s, and we were now having that convenience lifestyle, those drive-thrus, those preservative meals, and we saw a major shift. And that shift was that now that the average European is 15-to-1 out of balance. The average US individual is over 25-to-1 out of balance. The average Australian is 20-to-1 out of balance. And this has only happened in the last few short decades. And the reason being is because our diet has totally changed. And it has led to one conclusion, that our bodies lack the key nutrients and we are now out of balance. And that has a dramatic effect on our well-being, but it has a dramatic effect on our cellular level. You see, also with the nutritional growth of the nutritional supplement market, everybody's been focused on aesthetic looks, weight loss, which is important. Don't get me wrong. Being toned, this is key as well. But the reality is looking fit has no comparison to whether our cellular health is on track. So when our cells are out of balance, then we have ineffective brain function, skin, elasticity, heart, immune, gut issues. You only have to look around the world today, and there are people in today's modern society that are living with degenerative diseases that were not around nearly 100 years ago. And the simple reason being is that we have reduced cell function. See, we can eat great food, clean food, and we can eat and supplement that with great nutrition because that's the boom industry. But just putting produce into our body is not the key anymore. We can eat the right things, but if they cannot be absorbed, it's a pointless task. So the real question is, do you know if you are in or out of balance? Do you know if the nutrients you are consuming, whether it be through produce or supplements, are actually being absorbed into the cell and being processed, and the goodness that you're paying for is actually effective? Well, the reality is most are unaware. And what we need for optimum cell health is that for that membrane to be permeable. Remember that turning point? Well, anything over 4-to-1 means that membrane starts to harden and the nutrients will now struggle to get in to the cell to do what it needs to do. So what we need to look at is how to bring your cell into normal function. It needs to be soft, it needs to be flexible, it needs to be permeable. So the nutrients we are investing in, whether it be produce or supplements, can be utilized effectively. But most importantly, once that goodness has been used and processed in the cell, the things we don't need, the toxins and the waste, must be able to disperse and leave that cell. Otherwise, we now have a birthing environment of chronic inflammation. And so the real question that you're going to be asked of yourself is, do you know whether you are in or out of balance? You see, we already know that science and the World Health Organization state we should be 3-to-1 in balance. That's where we should want to be. But how do we know if we can't validate what we consume? Well, we already know that science has shown that the average individual in Europe is 15-to-1 out of balance. The Australian market, 20-to-1, and of course, and other continents, even higher. So how do we validate and how do we expose our true cellular health? We simply take a test. And I was asked for 3 years whether I was open to taking a test. And eventually, 16 months ago, the gentleman grabbed my attention with a very powerful line. He said, would it hurt to take a look? And it sincerely didn't hurt to take a look. And I wish I'd looked sooner, because I thought I'd already knew what he was involved with. And what he was involved with was the world's first test-based nutrition. So for you to find your results, you simply take a blood test. You take a blood test, you send off the blood test, and you start taking some of our nutritional products that I'm going to touch on very shortly. And then you start to take the nutritional products. And then within 2 to 3 weeks, you'll get a result. And to date, this laboratory that we use, and we're going to share a little bit about them, have done over 500,000 independent blood tests on behalf of Zinzino. Now, I can genuinely share with you, as I was shown this myself 16 months ago, I was sitting there in front of the founder, and everything up to that point that he had shared with me made logical sense. But as soon as he mentioned that there was a test, my skepticism barrier went up. Why? I'd seen things like this. I'd heard stories about things like this. I'd been part of previous companies that were similar to this. So my skepticism was up. But when he clarified that this independent test was done by the #1, an analytical blood laboratory in the world called Vitas, and that this laboratory performed independent blood tests for not just Zinzino, but governments, medical institutions, sporting organizations, educational establishments. As you can see on the screen today, Zinzino is only a customer. And so that really got me excited again. From an entrepreneur's perspective, I was starting to engage in the possibility, because I then understood that Zinzino, were a company that made the pharmaco-nutritional products, but it was an independent laboratory that validated whether, 1, we needed it, 2, that if we did, whilst we take it, after a period of time, we could retest and prove the product worked on a cellular level. What are we talking about? Totally removing any doubt, any guesswork. This is evidence-based nutrition. So you take your test and you are able to start consuming the products, and within 2 to 3 weeks, you'll get a full detailed report of the analysis of your essential fatty acids, from your brain, your mental capacity, strength, your protection, your omega-3 percentage in your bloodstream, one of the most important elements, the fluidity of your membrane. And you can see bottom right there that my test was 14.4 to 1 out of balance. Remember, 3 to 1 or higher, we're now into the chronic inflammation stage. So you take your test and you can start to actually track your progress. And within 3 weeks, you'll get a report. But here's what's alarming. Look at the screen. These are just 4 major continents. And of course, Australians, as I've already mentioned, on average are 20 to 1 out of balance. For those 500,000 individuals that have been tested to date, Not one continent is less than 95% out of balance. That means the world is walking around with chronic inflammation, skin conditions, heart conditions, bowel conditions, gut conditions, brain conditions. And all we tend to do to address these is go to what we've always been told and learned, is to go to the medical societies and get medication that only suppresses the symptoms. Now, there's a place for pharmaceutical medication, but it's not to live on for the rest of our life. And so what can we do about that? Well, very simply, what we've been able to do through a very incredible scientific advisory board is to produce a product can be proven. But this is what is also an alarming fact. Omega-3 is the #1 essential building block of every living cell in our body. Omega-3 is the #1 purchased nutritional product in the world in nutritional supplementation. And yet, even those taking that product on average are 7-to-1 out of balance. And the simple reason, it doesn't work. Omega-3s in their own right do not work. And you're going to understand momentarily why I can make that statement. So how do we fix this global issue? Well, very simply, Paul Clayton, who's one of the top scientists in pharmaconutritional products, has put this incredible advisory board together with some of the world's best, brightest minds in wellness and nutrition. And over the last 5 decades, yes, 5 decades, Paul has dedicated his life into producing formulations, patenting products, and through this process that we, Zinzino, own our own manufacturing and research development with our best in class. And through that formulation, they've created a product portfolio that brings you and I and our cellular health back into balance within 120 days. Now that is impressive. And it's the test that can prove what we make claims of. Now, why is our product more unique and more effective than what's out in the market? Because Zinzino is not coming into and creating a new market in the Australian market. We're not creating a new need or demand. It already exists. You and I as humans need essential fatty acids. So we go and take our hard-earned money and we go and purchase maybe a brand because it was cleverly marketed. We may go and purchase a product because a celebrity endorses it. We may go purchase a product based on maybe a personal trainer or nutritional therapist or someone that we hold in high regard because they're educated into this idea of more nutrition. And we exchange our monies for that guidance. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what people have done. But most people who recommend things have never been able to validate what they're recommending. 100%. And the reason why ours works greater than anything else out there is because traditionally when we purchase an omega-3 product, whether we eat it through our consumption of fish or other produce or through other additional supplementation, what happens is that particularly these nutritional products is they don't have polyphenols in their formulation. They're just simply fish oil, and fish oil doesn't work. Scientists will tell you, manufacturers will tell you, but for them, it's a great business. You can Google omega-3 right now and you'll understand we need it for, I call it the big three, our mind, our brain, our immune, and our gut health. So what is the importance of polyphenols? Well, very simply, polyphenols is a protective coating. It's an antioxidant. So if you remove that from the omega-3, now you've got a product, omega-3, that oxidizes within several hours of consumption, but it takes many hours to get to the cellular level to do its work. So our test-based formula, we have added back in an antioxidant called polyphenols from Spanish olives. We actually harvest those prematurely about 2 months before they are ripe. So the polyphenols are the most potent. But if you actually ate the olive, it's very rancid. Now, when you can eat olives, naturally, the polyphenols are not as potent. So they've got to be harvested at a certain time, added back into our formulation. And now we are not an omega-3 product, but we are a balanced oil formula. And you can see that we've added vitamin D3, and through our formulation, we get the right balance of EPA, DHA, and DPA. Now, for some, they may not like the oil, and they love the ability to be able to blend this formulation into one of their favorite drinks. So we have a water-soluble version. Put it in your favorite drink, particularly for the younger members of our family, that we can get them on their own health campaign as well, because children of today are a higher risk of being out of balance because they've consumed processed foods all of their life. One of the ones that I'm very excited about is our patented vegan product. No fish were utilized in this production. It's simply the algae and the polyphenols. And what we've been able to do is bring to the market the world's first vegan solution. Vegans on average are 20-1 out of balance. They are doing things for their well-being and for what they believe in, which is honorable. But the challenge is, from their diet, they are not getting the percentage of their EPA and DHA that they require. And we've been able to prove that they need this product. And for our friends across the pond, they are more into the tablet formation. And so we produce for the United States and the Canadian market a soft gel option. All these products are available in all markets, but these are our 4 key products that bring us back into balance. And all of them are made at the highest quality and care, with certification of manufacturing, environmentally responsible of how we harvest our fish with Friends of the Sea. We are governed by some sports institutions that will make sure that any anti-doping products are not allowed to be taken, and we're part of that environment. And of course, a lot of the social and emotional consciousness of being halal certified, keto friendly, GMO friendly, soy, you can see for yourself on the screen. This is the world's first all natural pharmaconutritional product, and best in class. Now, I mentioned that some of the other products that we've been traditionally consuming, the krill oils and the concentrated omegas and the cod liver oils, and I said this last night and it made me laugh. Hopefully it'll make you laugh in the Australian market and around the world. We all have that vivid memory of our parents holding our nose and to make us open our mouth to stick a spoonful of something that tasted terrible, but they thought they were doing us the best they could for our health, not knowing it doesn't work, because fish oil in its own right doesn't work. And why ours works is because of that special formulation. It stays potent far longer than what it needs to get to the cellular health. So once you've taken your first test, you start consuming those incredible products, and in 21 days or less, you'll get a notification. You can log online, and you're going to be able to enter a barcode that will then give you your result. Well, 120 days later, I was 2-1 back in balance. Now, who needs this product? Everybody. You'll see here by this graphic, we need omega-3 at every cycle of our life, from birth to death, for our adolescence, for our young adulthood, to our maturity, and to our latter years. But omega-3 plays a certain role in every chapter of our life. So as an entrepreneur, I have a product, you have the opportunity, you have a product that everybody needs, but they are not aware of it. So that's a very exciting opportunity. Now, in the United Kingdom and around Europe, we have an independent organization called the European Food Safety Association. You can see on the screen again, these are just 18 health claims that have been approved, not by a Cinzino, but by a medical body. So just beyond our heart, our brain, and our immune system, we could break that down actually to 145 other approved medical claims, but there's just 18 that I'm sharing with you today. So these are some of the ambassadors that are on the product right now. You know, they're Olympians, they're professional sports people, and they're using the product for clarity, recuperation, sleep, enhancement of mood, etc. So this is already in the market. As we share into the Australian market and around the world and across the pond, we're not coming to the market with something that's new. This is already tried and tested. We're just now informing you so you can make an informed decision about your well-being. So if it's important to you to be in your optimum health, to feel good, to be healthy, then getting into balance is a priority. And so let's take a look at some of our key product offering. Now, our oil is our flagship product. We've touched on that and the options that you have. The second product that we have is our prebiotic. Our prebiotic is a blend of 5 fibers that slowly release into each chamber of our colon, and it releases food to make our good bacteria stronger so it can fight the bad bacteria. Very simply, microbiome has become out of balance. It's called our gram-negative. Our bad bacteria has grown greater than our gram-positive, our good bacteria. So by putting food back into our gut, it helps the good bacteria to get stronger to fight the bad bacteria. And today we've heard that the gut is the second brain. And a lot of conditions we see today start in the gut with chronic inflammation. We have an incredible nutritional vitamin mineral product, which is actually the baby of Dr. Paul Clayton. This is his pride and joy. It's a multi-immune food supplement. The content of what's in this product, you would not be able to get anywhere else. Now, again, that's a bold statement. There's a lot of great products out there, but this has a special formulation, not just of minerals and vitamins, but in addition, beta-glucans. This product helps us with our energy, helps us with our bone and joint function, and it has a huge contribution factor of our normal immune system, which today is more paramount than ever before. Our other product is called Protect Plus. This really is the ultimate beta-glucan immune food supplement for our immune system. Again, I'm only touching on the products. If you're a guest here tonight and you want to know more because you have a health element that you want to make sure that you're operating at the optimum health, then the individual that invited you onto the webinar will be able to give you product sheets of every single product. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a doctor. I'm a chef by profession. But over the last 16 months, I've been blessed with someone that cared enough about me to get me to take a test, to start consuming these products, to retest and prove to myself that the reason I had certain issues was because of the imbalance of my essential fatty acids. Now, Viva is one of our nootropic food supplements. It's what we call our happy pill. In fact, Art Jonah, who's the general manager of the United States, calls this the spa for the mind. Now, in it is a patent ingredient. Now, it's not our patent, but it's a patent ingredient. Google Afron. It's a derivative of saffron, and very simply, it's a natural aid to sleep and mood enhancements. This is an incredible product, and we've seen tremendous benefits from people that struggle with sleep and their moods. This is one of my ultimate products that is a must to be added to our portfolio. So what am I very proud of the most? Well, very simply, whether you're Australian, British, or American, it doesn't matter where we are, Australasian, today our health should be a priority more than ever before. And we have brought to the market 3 products that genuinely make a difference, but can be independently validated. Step 1, our oil brings us back into balance. It adjusts our body's omega levels and supports our normal heart and brain function. 2, we restore that gut biome with our pre-fiber, a prebiotic. It helps our gut stay healthy and contributes to a balanced cholesterol level. And 3, our multivitamin improves our energy and supports our immune system. And most definitely, I would recommend adding that Viva for mood and sleep. This is what we call the health protocol, but we also call this the health protocol premium when we add the Viva to it. We also have got some additional products that will help us with maybe maintaining our weight, maybe leaning up a little, maybe dropping a few pounds and improving our gut. We have a very, very high quality protein powder. But one of the favorite products that is one of our best sellers is what we call the food for the skin. You don't need multiple bottles of creams. This is a 1 tube product. It hydrates, it smooths, but we call it food for the skin. And when in conjunction is applied with the consumption of the oil it brings us back into balance from a cellular level, working from the inside out. And the food for the skin, from a dermatology perspective, feeds the skin from the inside out. Now, if you are interested in skincare, you want to make sure that you ask the individual who invited you to send you a 2 to 3 minute video of Dr. Paul Clayton breaking down the skin matrix of why this works. It's incredibly powerful, and you'll have no doubt that you're going to want to add this to a product to your portfolio as well. Now, Zinzino, 15 years old, actually started as a coffee company. Until 8 years ago, the founder had his own ill health issues. Someone gave him the balance oil. So Zinzino did not create the balance oil. Zinzino actually acquired a small Norwegian company that Dr. Paul Clayton was already formulating these products, and so impressed with them that Zinzino bought the company. 8 years ago is where history commenced. That changed their whole focus from coffee to test-based nutrition. And now we've got over 330,000 monthly customers. And Australia is a growing market. If health's important to you, then get back with the individual and let them show you how they can help to serve you become a customer. If you're watching this around the European market and the United States or through a recording, the invitation is the same to you. If you've got a health goal and you want to remove any doubt about what you are taking presently is working, or you're not taking anything and you want to start taking responsibility of your health on a cellular level, but you want to make sure what you take is actually working, then you owe it to yourself to get back with the individual and subscribe and be a customer with them, and they'll be more than happy to help you kickstart your health campaign. So now we're going to switch into the opportunity that Zinzino brings us all. Now, if you're not interested in business, hopefully you're no longer with us, but if you are, this is your final invitation to leave the call, because now I'm going to drill down into the opportunity. Because there's people out there today that, yes, health's important, but look at the uncertainty that's going on around the world financially. People that have been working 10, 20, 30, 40 years are at the precipice of even losing their livelihood within a few short months, which proves that the education system that we had of how to get ahead, which we've always stated, has been broken for decades. You get a good job, you get a great career, you work up the corporate ladder, and sometimes that ladder is leaning against the wrong proverbial wall. We have a global scenario that now comes along, and we are all vulnerable financially. There are people today who are starting to wake up. They wouldn't have looked 2 years ago when they really should have. Because why do most people wait, whether it be their health, whether it be their finances? Why do they wait with this term? They wait till their back's against the wall. So the reality is, if you're going to now make a decision, if you're going to dare to step out and go and do something you may have never done without jeopardizing your primary income, because you can build this initially on a part-time basis, you want to make sure that if whatever you're going to put your effort into, whatever you're going to have to learn how to do, that it's going to be around several decades from now. And Zinzino is that company. It's a publicly traded company. It's 15 years old. It's you can go to the stock exchange as we speak. Go to Google, put in Zinzino shares, and look for Zinzino AB. Their share value has quadrupled in the last 12 months. We've gone from 180,000 monthly customers to over 330,000 monthly customers. And Australia has been contributing to that growth over the last 12 months. Now we're opening Australasia through Hong Kong, mainland China, Thailand, Taiwan, Malaysia, Indonesia, Canada, USA, South Africa, India in December, and 40 other markets are soft launching in the next 24 months. Why am I sharing that with you? Because not only do you want to be getting into a company that's financially debt-free and stable and gone through that foundational period, but you want a company that hasn't flatlined, but a company that's just going into hypergrowth globally. And that's what Zinzino is. But the reason that it is growing is because they choose They chose to get to the market via a direct consumer model. They've not gone down the traditional route where they put their product on the shelf. Why? Because everybody that touches that product, from manufacturing to warehousing to distribution to retailing to advertising to overheads, employees, lighting, heating, premises, adds to the cost of the product. The consumer comes in, buys that product, yet it's the same product when it's made, but it's more expensive when we buy. What does direct sales do? We do exactly the same, but instead of going through all that distribution channel, we connect you and your customers directly to the suppliers in Zeno through an e-commerce web shop. And the money that used to go to the middleman now comes back to you in commissions. Here's the great news. You ready for this? If you do nothing, you make nothing. If you do something, you make something. If you do a lot, you can change your life. See, gone are the days now when people say people were lucky. There is no such thing as luck when it comes to success. There's hard work. And we've become a society through our instant gratification, from our point and click TV, for our search and our attention span. Some of you have already switched off because your attention span. The reality is this: there is no shiny coin syndrome. If anything looks too good to be true and it's a get rich quick scheme, it's exactly that. It's a get rich quick scheme, and it will not last. So if you want to build longevity, if you want to build something that has sustainability, if you want to build something that will continue once you stop and create residual wealth, then Zinzino is the number one, in my personal opinion, opportunity out there in the market. And why is that? It's because if you understand mega trends, Facebook, see, the masses still think Facebook is a social media to show your dinner off. And they wonder why. Oh, how did they know I was looking at a car? Oh, how did they know I wanted a flight? Because it's Big Brother. If you've not seen the film Social Dilemma, folks, don't think you live in Australia, United Kingdom, around the world in a free society and that we have three faults. We are being manipulated. And so you think about that. What if you were in the college dorms with Mark Zuckerberg when they initially just created that to exchange pictures to one another? What if you were in the garage with Steve Jobs when Apple was given birth to? See, there was an individual with Steve Jobs that sold his shares for $80,000 because he didn't understand the vision of Steve Jobs, which would have been worth hundreds of millions of dollars in share value today. Well, we are the next mega trend. Uber disrupted taxis. Netflix disrupted cinema. Zinzino will disrupt the Amiga market that already exists. And I want you to hear this one line. It's never too late to come to a market that already exists when you do it better and disrupt it. 500 million people a year take an omega-3 product. And out of those 500,000 that we've already tested, 97% of them failed the test. Zinzino is entering a $40 billion annual market that already exists. We're not creating a new demand. We're just going to show people what they've been taking doesn't work, and we've got a product that does. And over the next 30 years, the industry is going to be a $200 billion business. So how do you get started? Well, you make a decision, get back with the individual, and let them know that you would love the opportunity to own your own e-commerce franchise. Invest in one of our getting started bundles. I recommend the refund bundle. We call it the ultimate pack. It's about 1,000 Australian dollars. Get with the person. I'm not too sure the exact amount. And in that, you're going to have well over $3,000 worth of produce. 10 tests to test you, your significant other, your kids, your relatives. Why wouldn't you want to find out who you care about, if they're healthy or not? And then simply work with the individual that invited you and the team and the corporate, and let them help you build your business. But in the month of October, we have a double bonus. See, when you invest in this ultimate refund pack, long as you get 25 product subscriptions, now I could be your customer. You could be in Brisbane. I could be United Kingdom. I'm a connection of yours. I love what you're doing. You send me a short video. I love the idea of getting tested. I become your customer. I purchase through your e-commerce portal. I buy a product. I'm one customer. I'm one subscription. I love the idea of the protocol, and I buy 3 products. I'm one customer. I'm 3 subscriptions. And within 12 months of you getting started, working with the team and the team that will help you build your customer base, when you get 25 subscriptions, by month 12, your entire pack is refunded. Your business will not cost you any money if you focus on helping people get on the product. Now, but in the month of October, the company goes one step better. Once you get 25 subscriptions, as long as you got them by month 12, you're going to get a full refund. But the sooner you get to 25 subscriptions, anybody who gets started now, we've only got 3 days left of October, they'll get a double loyalty. And that is, once you hit 25 subscriptions, the company's going to send you a whole new ultimate pack, and that is for free. And you can retail that, and you can make several $1,000s in just merchandise and what's in that pack. So an opportunity of being part of a mega trend, owning your own e-commerce web shop, working with people that's going to help you, guide you through your foundational period of building your business, and then help you succeed. And we have a monthly course. Any business has an ongoing overhead. Well, as a restaurateur, I had a number of overheads: employees, upkeep, downkeep, everything from advertising, you name it, I had it. I had to make tens of thousands of Australian dollars a month just to break even. Here in Zinzino, you own an e-commerce web shop, but everything else is done with the company. No logistics, no shipping, it's all done direct to consumer. But there is an overhead. Our own consumption of our own product, so you will be able to select your own product. We have some tools to help you build your business, mobile technology and platforms and education. We have a very powerful back office, and we have replicated websites. And that's about, and again, please check, about 60 to 70 Australian dollars, maybe a little bit more, I'm not too sure, per month. But here's the good news. If we're focusing on customers, once you get 10 product subscriptions into your personal customer base, that monthly overhead is waived. You only pay for shipping of your oil to your door. And the great thing as an entrepreneur, there's 2 things that's vitally important. One is getting customers, and 2 is learning how to keep customers. Doesn't matter if it's in Zeno, if you're an accountant, if you're a chef, if you're a personal trainer, getting customers is the first thing. And then keeping them long-term is where you build residual income. So as a customer, if I was your customer and I had had that great experience, 14.4 to 1 to 2.1 to 1, I know the product works for me. Now, I may not have an interest in your business, but I would love to get my product for free because I want to stay on it for as long as possible. Customers can get their product for free by referring 4 others who are on the same product or greater than them. You as a partner, you also have the opportunity of getting your products for free, because once you've got 10 product subscriptions going into your customer base, your monthly subscription and oil is also free. Now, decide what you want to do. Do you want to build some slight secondary income? Do you want to replace your income over the next year or 2? Or do you really want to change your life because you realize where you are in life is not getting you what you want? See, Zinzino offers every one of us something. Maybe it's a little, maybe it's just to replace, maybe it's a lot. Remember what I said? Get in and do nothing, you make nothing. Do something, you make something. But do a lot, you can change your life. So how do we do that? Very simply, we do 2 things. We go get customers, and we help other franchisees get customers. And there's 10 ways we get remunerated. I'm not going to break it all down today, but very simply, you can get back with the individual and they'll answer your questions. But the first one, I want to see if I've been able to fix this. This jumped ahead of me last night, but it did it again. I have clearly not fixed it. So the first thing we do is we help you set up your own franchise, and we help you go get 4 subscriptions. 4 product users or 4 product being consumed, you're called a smart bronze. You're going to make on average about 170 to 250 Australian dollars for just going and getting 4 product subscriptions. Do that in the first 30 days and you make around 250 Australian dollars. Now, let's go and help you share the opportunity. For franchisees, people that you know that are ambitious go-getters, people that understand trends, people that want to be at front of the curve, people that are sick and tired of being sick and tired, people that say, you know what, I'm concerned about my family's prosperity. Because there's people more open today than you can possibly imagine. They just have not been approached the right way yet. And we'll show you how to do that. You help 4 people join your business, 2 on the left, 2 on the right, franchisees. They are their own business owners, and they're going to go and get customers, but you get an override. You go fast silver in your first 30 days, that's another 300 Australian dollars. So in your first 30 days, we'll show you how to make between 400 and 500 Australian dollars back for getting 4 customers and 4 business partners. Now in the second month, 60 days in total, you now add another 6 product subscriptions to your 4. So now we call that 4, 4, 10. 10 subscriptions in total. You'll call it Team Express, and you now have made another 300 Australian dollars. So you've pretty much almost there of getting your return on investment in the first 2 months. Now we have a customer gathering program that is significantly exciting, that the more subscriptions that you have personally, the more customer commissions you will earn. And also it's on a residual basis. So what we're going to do here is just skip through this, but the more subscriptions you get, the more retail commission on a monthly basis that are customer bonuses that will be added to your residual commissions. But here's where the longevity is: duplicating your franchise. You're in business, you've gone 4, 4, 10, and you are now called a silver. Do that in the first 60 days, as I said, you'll make about 800 to 1,000 Australian dollars. Now help someone else do that, help 4 people do that, and you are an executive. Now, this is very simple. Help 4 people do what you did, and you're an executive. You're going to make around, I don't know, 1,200 to 1,500 Australian dollars for doing that. It may be even a little bit more. I don't know all the numbers for Australian dollars, but I know this. All you've done is got people onto a product, test-based nutrition, and help 4 people do exactly the same. And you now have a grown e-commerce global business. Help 4 people do what you just done, go executive. Help them make 1,500 to 2,000 Australian dollars a month. You're called a diamond. And in the Australian market, you're going to make around 8,000 to 10,000 Australian dollars per month. We got people doing that in 12 weeks who've never done this business before. Doctors, nutritionists. We got people who are orthodontists, cardiologists, not because they were looking for a business. It's because their conventional business was in jeopardy with what's going on around the globe. They've got a customer base, they've got a clientele base. Health and wellness is what they do. There are people today that have never done this industry who are making more money than people who have been in this industry because they understand the importance of nutrition. Well, you help 4 people go to that diamond level of 8,000 to 10,000 Australian dollars a month. You're now going to be called a crown, and you're going to be making over 250,000 Australian dollars a month in the next 12 months. Now, is that guaranteed? Totally not. What you do with it is going to be important. But here's the thing as I wrap up. It's understanding timing. Zinzino is not a new company. Zinzino is publicly traded. Zinzino is debt-free. Zinzino is already in Australia and creating momentum. The question is, do you have a health goal? Do you want to remove any doubt about your own cellular health? And then if that is the case, why wouldn't other people that you care about want to do the same? And as an entrepreneur, it is important that we recognize timing. People will say that all the time. But when you understand what a mega trend is, we are at the foot of the exponential global growth. 180,000 customers to 2019, 330,000 customers 2020. The goal of the company is to have 1 million customers by 2025. And that is going to be probably shaved off by a couple of years at our growth rate presently. 20 million customers by 2035 and 100 million customers by 2050. So again, what I said a moment ago is I was looking, if I was going to put my energy in at my age, I didn't want to have to keep looking 5 years from now. I wanted somewhere that was solid. I wanted something that was real. I wanted something that made a difference to the customer, that then I could help as many customers and help a handful of entrepreneurs help as many customers to build a residual income in the next 3-4 years, that if anything ever happened to me, my family will be financially secure. Why? If you've got 10, 20, 30,000 global customers and you're no longer here, they will still continue consuming their products and your family will continue receiving those commissions. That's why Zinzino is the perfect timing. This is why we should take action today. And what is that action? Decision. I'm not saying join, I'm saying make a decision. Make a decision. Do you want the opportunity? If you do, get back with the individual, get started. Don't think about it. There's nothing to think about. Maybe you don't want an opportunity, and that's fine, and we respect that decision. But your health has to be a priority. So at least become a customer to the individual that invited you to the call, get tested, find out your starting point. If you don't need the product because you are already in balance, 3-to-1 or less, you can return everything with a 100% money back guarantee. But if you're out of balance, stay on the product. 120 days from now, retest and see how you have come back into balance and how your health has improved. And if that's the case, then that individual will be happy to help you kickstart your health campaign. My name is Dave Ives. We're going to be holding these Australian calls every Thursday, 8 p.m. Brisbane time. So just know the numbers will grow. We already hold an Australian corporate call on a Tuesday evening as well, where we teach and hear stories of the successes in Australia. We hear the education from professionals who share the product knowledge as well. On a Thursday, I'm going to be sharing the opportunity. So you are more than welcome to come back, invite your guests, and let the team help you build your business. Everybody else that may have joined us today from other markets, I appreciate you getting on and supporting, but know this is a global opportunity that is at the forefront of the next mega trend in test-based nutrition. Come and join us and let's go and impact lives around the world. Thank you, everybody. Good evening in Australia and have a great day, the remainder of Europe.